Well, I think today information is very much the lifeline of any organization. I mean, whether is it for the use of gaining a competitive edge, or even for a lot of times even for compliance reasons. So that is still very important. Therefore, I think companies are beginning to, or not beginning, but continues to store data or information as part of their environment. I believe to be the key reasons. What is the best approach? If you look at, maybe we take a step back, look at the problems today. So in terms of utilization, in the latest report that we had, State of the Data Center, we see an increasing growth in terms of storage. However, utilization remains to be low at about 60%, all right, or less. And we did some also survey studies with data that we collect from around. We saw that even though we say utilization is about 30 or rather less than 60%, the actual data growth is between maybe 10 to 20%, which means that there's a problem. There's a problem quite likely to be over-provisioning, whereby instead of now taking a real look at what is the true requirements, people tends to plan for overcapacity, or because it's an incremental growth, therefore the cost is a lot lower, it's insignificant to the overall project, therefore people are taking not the correct approach into managing this. So what we believe to be the best approach is to take a look at storage resource management. This has been around for a long time. But however, having said that, it's something that has not had enough focus, and that would be a way to ensuring that storage utilization can go up and maintain certain efficiency within the data center. What with my conversations with customers and so on, both in Singapore and Indonesia, so we realize that over provisioning is one of the key problems, as I mentioned just now. So organizations do not fully understand the need of applications, because in reality, not every application is the same. Some applications are more critical than others. Some demands more storage than others, and then they also demand different performance characteristics. There is not enough tiered storage approach into solving the problem. That is, having different classes of storage, having your very good high performance ones and mid-range ones, and maybe some low-end storage. Whereby by doing some of these classifications, then you have a better approach into classifying and storing where your data is. Another additional point is probably lack of also visibility. Not really truly understanding how much storage you have. I remember one very interesting question that I asked one of my customers, and he was shocked because he realized he doesn't have an answer. That he doesn't really know how much storage he has, how much storage is being used, and by what application. So these are very basic questions. So this shows you, evidently showing us that SRM is really lacking here. Data replication is a means of copying data, making a second copy of the data, and typically is being used for disaster recovery purposes. That means you're going to move that data from one site to another site over a network link. This can be over WAN, for example, most of the time, for the purpose of being able to recover when something happens to the primary site. So in essence, you can say replication is creating a redundant copy of the data that you have. Data deduplication is really a process of trying to find redundant or duplicate data, whether it's at the file level, what we used to call single instancing, and then today at the block level, which is deduplication, and then being able to just store one copy of that file to ensure that we are storing data in the most optimized manner. So if you look at it from a usage angle, replication is for DR, data deduplication is more used today for backup and recovery, and it's used to ensure that there's improved efficiency around the backup process. I would say it can be used together. Maybe I'll give you an example to allow you to achieve certain level of recovery point objectives. When we say RPO, we are talking about how much data an organization can afford to lose before it runs out of business, right? So if you look at it from this perspective, data replication achieves a certain RPO, which can be even down to 0, whereas data deduplication doesn't allow you to do any of those at all. However, putting the two together does have some effectiveness. For example, example, now if I can deduplicate my backups over at the primary site and then take advantage of data replication to move the deduplicated data to the DR site as one solution, then what I'm doing is I am now eliminating the need to now do offsite vaulting with tapes. So instead of sending tapes, so now electronically I'm sending the data across, I'll have my secondary copy there almost in real time as it happens. However, having said that, you are still achieving a so-called RPO of 24 hours because backups are done once a day typically. So this is how you can combine the two together to deliver a solution. To optimize utilization of storage, so an organization need to take a more conscientious effort into looking at this as more from a framework perspective. Right now, adopting, for example, a storage service management framework by first of all being able to understand your current environment. What do you have in terms of storage? How are they being used? What applications are using it? And then subsequently then being able to improve on your overall utilization. That means taking matrices, reports on your current and as well as understanding historical trends that will allow you to be able to better allocate the storage that you have to your respective business applications. And thirdly, transforming storage operations, putting more processes, best practices in place. For example, things like storage change management, making sure that when you make a change to your SAN infrastructure, whether is it at the host level, making a change to a host bus adapter, or even at the SAN level, updating some software into your SAN switches or storage subsystems, making sure that you do proper impact analysis to minimize downtime, so therefore bringing up your overall service level. And finally, the fourth step is to have better alignment into the business, understanding what all the respective different business units in terms of applications, what kind of storage do they really need? Do they all need tier 1 storage, high performance? Can they do tier 2 or tier 3 storages? That will allow you to build a infrastructure that is highly dynamic and is able to help be agile enough to help to grow with the business.